here's how the story goes. I want to say around July or so of this year, I watched this one tutorial of this one guy just giving some examples of some very basic jazz chords. And this one that he showed really kind of stuck with me because it had this like bossa nova groove to it, which lately I've been really digging. I picked it up and added a few of my own embellishments and came up with my own kind of set of chords. But the problem is I didn't know how to continue it. Like, I had the chords and I really loved how they sounded, but I didn't know where all of that would take me. And because I didn't want to have like a cookie cutter type of an ending to those chords, I just said to myself, you know what, let me just put it down, sleep on it, and we'll see where it will land. 6 months later, I was jamming and kind of practicing those chords, those bossa nova chords that I had come up with about 6 months ago. And I made a mistake while practicing. I made a mistake. However, it was a good mistake. It allowed me to move away from those bossa nova chords into another section of the song. And it wasn't a cookie cutter section, at least in my own very subjective opinion. And from then on, it just kind of went into this other place, and then to this other place, and then it came back to the bossa nova groove, but with a more kind of, rust to it. Let me just show you on my computer. I think it's gonna make a lot more sense. This video is more about the creative process. How do you get stuff done? How do you get from an idea that you have in your head to something that is, a finished product, like a book? In your case, it may be an article, it may be whatever it is that you're working on. I recorded a lot of my musical ideas on my phone, and it can be anything from a melody, like a random melody that's stuck in my head, or it can be like literally, it can be just like humming. But here is what happened. So as I said, I was practicing. Do you hear that oriental vibe? That's the part that I messed up. I forgot to include the... Because of that, it led me into a whole different territory. That led me to this, which became very, very soon obviously, there are so many different layers already on top of that. At the core, it's really just the distortion guitar here with some power chords at the bottom. But then I thought, oh, cool, it would be very nice if I could go into like a more ethnic kind of a beat and also sound. Ethnic, again, to me, it's ethnic, like ethnic Moldovan, Romanian, Balkan, whatever the right terminology is. Like, I literally see people dancing when I when I play this kind of stuff. And so because of that, I also put like a very traditional beat that we in Moldova would use for that. So something like dun, 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 dun. So it goes into these like hardcore kind of beats, and still I'm kind of still playing some distorted guitar riffs with some power chords. Right? But then, again, I'm going to look at my voice memo here. I think later on that day, I came up with this thing. Oh, what if I just lay out some other very, I guess, melodic section after this one? And I think it made a lot of sense. Obviously, this has a lot of different layers to it, but at the very, very beginning, it was just this clean guitar with some tremolo effect. That's it, really. That's it. That was the idea. And I really liked that chord progression just by itself, honestly. But then the more I started playing with it, I added, of course, a drum beat here, here and there. And then I thought, okay, bass. Then I added the bass, and I know it sounds very pronounced, the bass, but I really like it that way. So from then on, it just was like a constant sort of iteration back and forth. Another idea, scratch that, the next idea, oh, I like that, keep it. And then layers on top of each other, layers and layers and layers. And this is where I'm coming back to the original chord progression, which was like this bossa nova kind of a groove. Which I at first didn't even know how to continue. But here I'm giving it a little more of a kind of a boost. So came back full circle to that initial mistake that sort of led me on to the journey of writing this song. I'm just really glad that I finally got it done. This song idea is no longer something that's kind of lingering in my mind. It's a finished product in my mind. And I'm really proud of that. So that's pretty much it. I mean, it's a bunch of iterations going back and forth, staying at my computer for literally hours with my guitar, probably with a very bad posture, but what don't we do for art? You're so sweet. And I just wanted to end this video by saying that there's a lot of stuff here for a lot of people who work in creative fields, or even in fields that are not usually considered as the creative type of a field. And I think you can probably relate this whole process of getting a project done involves a lot of different things. My biggest takeaways from this are the following. So number one, sometimes a mistake can actually be a really good thing for you. It can really push you in a whole different territory that you haven't even considered before, and you might land somewhere completely different and end up getting a new perspective on the thing you are working on, and maybe that will move the project along. The second thing is when we're dealing with a problem, right? When we're trying to solve a problem, it can be macro level, it can be micro level. A lot of times we need to pay attention, just pay attention to everything, because the inspiration for a song or the solution for combating some sort of a problem might be in a way like hidden somewhere, but if you pay attention and are really aware of your surroundings, you might notice it and again move the project along, or get whatever it is that you're working on done. And the third thing I wanted to mention here is taking time off from being heads down working on the thing that you're concentrated on. And I get it, you don't always get the luxury of taking time off. Take this advice, I guess, and apply it, adjust it to your own situation. But I mean, I remember when I was working as a business analyst, I would always get stuck, coding something in SQL. I would always get stuck because Excel crashed on me again, or like there's some sort of a function that I'm not getting, not understanding in Excel, and a lot of the further work kind of depends on me figuring that thing out. I mean, it can be as simple as literally like taking a 10 to 15 minute walk around the hallway. I mean, sometimes I would do that and come back and look at that same problem as if I'm a different person. Now, it didn't always work, but we try. These are my few takeaways from this. I hope you can relate, really. I hope you can relate. If you are so inclined, feel free to comment and maybe let me know what kinds of ways you use to combat this feeling of being stuck working on a project or something like that, or like how you deal with this stuff. Oh, and one last thing before I forget. If you want to listen to my song, I will leave a link to it in my video description. That is all for today, and I hope you are all doing fantastic. Take care, friends.